Let's talk about diet and EDCs and its impact on consciousness as an important adjunct in treatment.
Yeah, well, I'll go back to my cars analogy. Like if you're a car and you are alive as a car and you put terrible fuel in your car versus putting like the best premium fuel at the gas pump, you're going to drive completely differently. Um, and one thing that I like looking at when I was looking at the neuroscience of psychedelics is, and people could correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I couldn't find anything really conclusive that really showed where the consciousness comes from in the human experience. It suggested that it comes from somewhere in the brain, but where in the brain it comes from, it's not really clear. But it also didn't really seem too clear that it definitely does only come from the brain. So I have this theory that I think that, and when we look at the mechanisms of things like, for example, if you look at someone who's in chronic pain, so let's say you've got an impinged nerve, that chronic inflammation is going to change, it's going to reduce the production, it's going to reduce the synthesis, and it's going to increase the reuptake of dopamine. So it's directly impacting how you feel and your mood. So I like to apply that out and go, your consciousness is coming from every cell in your body. You can feel every single part of you. So if you have muscle tension, if you have an impinged nerve in your back, if you've eaten something terrible and your gut's pissed off, like we know about the gut brain axis. I think there is so much interconnection with the body and how we feel. So if we are experiencing life inhabiting this vessel and being conscious in this vessel, the fuel that we put into our body is going to drastically change the way that we experience ourselves and experience the world. And I think that that's why when people fix up their diet, if it's vegan or keto or carnivore or paleo or whatever they do, if it's a significant difference from the standard Western hyper processed garbage diet, they're going to massively elevate how they're feeling just because the quality of the food got better. And I think that if you can look and going, okay, well, what's the best diet for me in terms of what do I run better on? And learning about nutrition, learning about the value of micronutrients, learning about, the harms of, pesticides, endocrine disrupting chemicals, looking at what diet is going to be the most nourishing for your vessel. And then if you nourish your diet and give your body an abundance of nutrients that it needs to run, you're going to be massively reducing the amount of stress that you're under as an organism because you're nourished with fuel. And stress and scarcity is the prime, risk factor of the human existence since the dawn of time. So I think if guys are really wanting to focus on their mental health, it's going, okay, maybe my mental health is a symptom, and maybe my mental health is part of the symptom of my overall dysfunction as a body. And one thing that you have so much control over is the food that you put into your mouth. So removing the things that you shouldn't be eating and increasing more of the things that you should be eating, you're using proper strategic supplementation, all these different things I think can have a massive, massive difference in how we feel. I wouldn't be surprised if people who spent their formative years with micronutrient deficiencies, out of whack omega-3 to omega-6, deficiencies in the fat soluble vitamins A, E, D, K, cholesterol, so they're not making hormones properly. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the things that leads people to having these maladaptive, I guess, forming of the body and then chronic disease. And that's why when people do change their body and do fix up their life and get their things together, it can take months and years for the body to break out of this cycle of dysfunction and have cellular turnover to kind of heal and be rebuilt from a new, stronger, better, healthier body. And then you are, consciously inhabiting this body. So your experience in terms of how you feel up here is going to be completely different.
Right.
Beautiful, beautiful, Dave. And this is the hard problem of consciousness. Nobody has been able to come up with that answer, and I don't think we'll ever understand what consciousness is, where it's coming from. To me, this is where you're going to need faith. You're going to need to just tap into it. The only thing I know we can do is we can elevate our own vibration to really tap into the collective higher vibration. And the way we can elevate our own vibration, again, we've said that it is our hormones, our body, our vessel control that. So the better you feel in your body, the better your nutrition, the better you can elevate your vibration and better you can tap into the collective vibration. It's the concept, the Buddhist concept of Atman, which is the big consciousness, and we are, Brahman, the big consciousness, so the Atman. We are a drop in the ocean, but we are part of the ocean. All we have control of is our little drop. Make your drop the best possible, and you can be part of that big ocean.
One of the best things for my mental health that I ever did, which was things that I learned through psychedelic work, was just wake up and do the things that you know are the right things to do. And I think that like living with that sense of moral compass and virtue, I think that like that if you let things like that guide your actions, if your purpose with each day that you have is to leave the world a better place than you found it, I think that however you show up and do those things and implement those things, whether it's in how you treat other people, your interactions with your partner, you know, what you do for your career and all these things, I think if you live that way and that's your internal barometer, I think that that's one of the most profound things that changes your mental health, because you are now experiencing someone who you consciously think is doing quote unquote the right thing. And I think that that's so important for people to live in a way that they're proud of themselves every day when they go to bed at the end of each day and they went, today I did the right thing. I am a good person by the way that I see the world and see myself. And I left the world a better place than I found it when I woke up. And I think that if guys can do that and prioritize that for how they feel in terms of what they're going to get out of it, I think that's one of the most amazing ways you can transform your mental health and also transform your life.
Completely. Again, it is because this is the one thing you have control of. You may not have control of what's happening around you, but you have control of how you wake up every day. You take a personal decision that you're going to be a better person each day. And that's how you elevate your vibration. It's so amazing that we're saying all the same thing. And every book, every religion is saying the same from different angles. The message at the end of the day is very simple. Work on you, be part of the collective, control what you can, live in the moment. What you cannot control, you don't let it break you. You try to be a better person every day. And that's how we change the collective. It's beautifully said, Dave.
Consider becoming a channel member for exclusive features, like loyalty badges, early access to new videos, funny stuff like rough cuts and bloopers, members only photos and status updates on the community tab, and members only live stream chat. On desktop, use the join button next to the subscribe. On mobile, use the join link in the description.